I have to say it right now. This General Hospital spoiler is absolutely shocking because Josslyn may not just be in danger, she may be staring at the end of her entire story. And if this theory is true, Eden McCoy's future on GH could be hanging by a thread in a way no one expected. I know that sounds extreme, but the more I look at what is happening around Spoon Island, Cassius, Sidwell, Cullum, and Josslyn, the more I feel like GH is building towards something dark, brutal, and impossible to ignore. I am not saying Eden McCoy's exit has been confirmed. I have not seen anything official saying she is leaving the show, but the direction of Josslyn's storyline is starting to feel dangerous. Not just soap opera dangerous. I mean the kind of danger where a character is pushed into a corner, the villain panics, and suddenly the entire canvas changes overnight. Right now, Spoon Island feels less like a hidden location and more like a trap. Josslyn is being held there after Cassius attacked her and dragged her into his nightmare. And this is where everything changes, because Cassius can no longer keep pretending to be the kind, innocent, harmless Nathan everyone thought he was. That mask is cracking. The fake smile is gone. The sweet act is falling apart. And the brutal truth may be that Josslyn has already discovered what Cassius was so desperate to hide. Cassius knows Josslyn is not stupid. He knows she has seen too much. He knows she may have figured out that his entire Nathan identity is a lie. And once Josslyn connects those dots, Cassius is not just exposed, he is trapped. Because Josslyn is the kind of person who will fight, scream, investigate, and burn the whole lie down if she gets the chance. That is exactly why Cassius cannot let her walk out of Spoon Island alive with her memory intact. But that is where the first twist hits. Cassius may not actually want to kill Josslyn at first. I think he may believe there is still another way out. A twisted way, a darker way. A way that lets him keep his secret while keeping his hands just clean enough to pretend he is not the monster everyone is about to discover. And that is where Cullum and Sidwell come in. From the moment Cassius arrived in town pretending to be Nathan, I have felt like there was something rotten underneath the surface. Maybe he fooled people for a while. Maybe he slipped into Port Charles with the perfect face, the perfect story, and just enough charm to make people lower their guard. But now, all of those little lies are starting to stack up. And the scary part is this. The bad things Cassius may have done before are nothing compared to what he may be planning now. Because kidnapping Josslyn is already horrific. Holding her captive is already unforgivable. But Cassius knows that is not a permanent solution. He knows Josslyn cannot just disappear forever without people asking questions. He knows Port Charles is not a town where someone like Josslyn vanishes and everyone simply moves on. Carly will not accept silence. Trina will not stop looking. The PCPD will get involved. And if the WSB smells even a hint of Sidwell's network, this entire secret operation could explode. So Cassius may turn to the one plan that feels even more disturbing than the kidnapping itself, brainwashing Josslyn. I can almost picture him thinking it through in that cold, desperate way villains do when they convince themselves they are being clever. If Josslyn cannot remember what happened, then she cannot expose him. If she cannot remember Cassius attacking her, then she cannot point the finger. If she cannot remember that Nathan is fake, then Cassius gets to keep playing his sick little role. But that plan is terrifying because it means Cassius is not just trying to silence Josslyn's voice. He may be trying to erase her truth. He may be trying to take away her memories, her power, and her ability to fight back. And honestly, that is what makes this storyline feel so intense. This is not only about physical danger. This is psychological. It is personal. It is cruel. And it makes me wonder how far GH is willing to go. But that is not all. Because the second twist is that Cassius may run out of time before he can even carry out the brainwashing plot. Josslyn's disappearance cannot stay hidden forever. Sooner or later, the news will break. People will realize she is missing. The questions will begin. The panic will spread. And when the PCPD and the WSB start pulling on the thread, everything connected to Sidwell and Cullum could start unraveling fast. What makes this even worse for Cassius is that Josslyn had already been secretly investigating Sidwell and Cullum. She was not just wandering into danger for no reason. She was trying to get justice for Anna. She was chasing the truth. And that may become the clue that leads everyone straight toward the villains. Once the authorities realized Josslyn had been digging into Sidwell and Cullum before she vanished, the target becomes obvious. At first, the PCPD and the WSB may focus on Sidwell. That makes sense. Sidwell has the power, the connections, and the kind of shadowy reach that makes him an obvious suspect. Then, Cullum could get dragged into the center of the investigation too, especially if evidence shows that Josslyn had been watching him. But the moment the investigation expands, Cassius becomes a problem. Because if Cassius has been moving in and out of that villain circle too often, someone will notice. And once they notice, the whole fake Nathan act could collapse. That is the moment I think Cassius will start to panic. He may realize the walls are closing in. He may realize the PCPD and WSB are not just asking casual questions anymore. They are connecting names. They are tracking movements. They are looking at Spoon Island. And if they get a search warrant, Cassius has nowhere left to hide. Just imagine the tension. Josslyn is trapped somewhere on Spoon Island, maybe locked away, maybe drugged, maybe terrified, but still fighting to stay alert. Cassius is pacing, trying to decide whether to move her, erase her memory, or do something even worse. Sidwell and Cullum may be pressuring him. The police may be closing in. The WSB may be preparing to raid the island. And Josslyn may be the one living witness who can destroy every single one of them. That is when the biggest twist could hit. Cassius may decide Josslyn is no longer useful. He may decide she is too dangerous to keep alive. And if he believes the PCPD and WSB are about to storm Spoon Island, he could make a horrifying choice. He could decide to kill Josslyn and get rid of her body before anyone finds her there. That would be the darkest possible turn. It would also be the kind of shocking move that would leave GH fans stunned, angry, heartbroken, and desperate for answers. And I hate even saying this, but that is why I am worried about Eden McCoy. Again, there is no confirmed report that Eden is leaving General Hospital. But when I look at this storyline, I cannot ignore the fear that GH may be setting up Josslyn's exit. And if that happens through a death storyline, it would feel painfully similar to what fans went through with Kelly Monaco. Kelly's exit shocked viewers when the show killed off Sam, and many fans still have not gotten over how sudden and brutal that felt. So now I am asking the question I do not want to ask. Could GH really do the same thing again? Could Josslyn, one of the younger legacy characters with deep ties to Carly, Jax, Sonny, and so many major Port Charles families, really be written into a deadly corner? Could Cassius become the villain who changes everything by making one desperate, unforgivable move? The most disturbing part is that Cassius may think killing Josslyn solves his problem, but in Port Charles, death rarely ends the truth. It usually exposes it. If Josslyn disappears permanently, Carly will tear the town apart. Anna will follow every lead. The WSB will not back off. And if even one piece of evidence links Cassius to Spoon Island, his Nathan disguise will not just be questioned. It will be completely exposed. But here is the final twist I cannot stop thinking about. What if Cassius does try to kill Josslyn, but he fails? What if he thinks he has silenced her forever, only for Josslyn to survive somewhere no one knows about? What if the police find blood, signs of a struggle, and enough evidence to make everyone believe Josslyn is dead, while the real Josslyn is still alive, hidden, injured, and unable to reach anyone? That would give GH the perfect cliffhanger. The town mourns. Cassius thinks he won. Sidwell and Cullum think the threat is gone. But somewhere in the darkness, Josslyn opens her eyes, remembers everything, and realizes the only way to survive is to stay dead a little longer. And if that is where this story is going, then Cassius may have no idea what is coming for him next.